Yeah.
I want to come out right at the top and apologize to my Cowboys. All right, plenty of people were not happy. Even some coming after my fandom. Friends, family, wondering how I could possibly pick against the Cowboys. If you're interested in how I could do that, please just go back and watch the prediction video from last week. I outline it. I've just been heartbroken too many times, right? But you know what? The Cowboys come out, and it seemed like everybody proved the haters wrong. No one more so than Dak Prescott, who had a really maybe the best game of his career: 25 of 33, 305 passing yards, 4 TDs, passing TDs, a rushing TD, and no interceptions, no fumbles. Played a clean game throughout. To highlight sort of where I was wrong about this game pick last week. Basically, I said I thought that the Bucs would win because I felt like the only way the Cowboys could come up with a W here was with their defense being elite. If they could somehow prevent the Bucs from scoring much at all, maybe a couple field goals, I thought that I didn't think that the offense was going to be super effective, especially considering the Bucs defense was getting a lot of people back in the back end, as well as they were just getting healthier, it seemed, as the season rolled towards the playoffs.
Ryan Jensen started that game when I think he was out most all the season potentially, but he started the game. For example,
so it just seemed like, and of course Tom Brady being the X factor. The defense actually, you might say, okay, they scored they only allowed 14 points. That is good. But the Bucs on average are scoring 17 points in the season. I mean, this is a bad Bucs offense. So they didn't actually do anything particularly special. Tom Brady threw the ball 66 times for some reason. The Bucs are the Bucs should have committed to the run even when they were down. But even when it wasn't out of hand, even when it was 14-17-0, they refused to run the ball. And it's ridiculous. 13 run attempts versus 66 pass attempts.
They can't. And obviously part of that is once you start, is when you're not running much. If it's obvious run scenario, they'll be ready for the run. I get that, but and I'm checking. So what were they at? 5.9 yards a game. That's a lot better than I thought. I was about to look at this and expect it to be 1.
Yes.
Okay. They rushed 7 times, but they got a yard each time.
Fournette was not running good, but White was.
That's better than I would have thought. Yeah.
And you know why? Because Dallas's defense is bad against the run. They have a poor run defense, a very good pass defense.
That's right.
It seemed to me, it just felt like, okay, I think that maybe the Cowboys will put up 21. Dak will probably throw a couple of picks. Can the defense hold them to 10, 13, something like that? Can the Cowboys, just squeak out a tough win?
Squeak it out.
Right? Can the defense take control of the game? Can Michael Parsons? Now, like I said, the defense played good, but not stellar. It was the offense who jumped out to this 17-0 lead. I think it was 24-0 at some point.
Something like that.
It was really, completely mistake-free football. And really, the other thing is, I've been hammering them. They must have finally listened that this team is undisciplined, right? With not running the right routes, with Dak squeezing the ball into triple coverage for some reason, with the penalties, just the boneheaded mistakes and errors. Guess what? 2 penalties for 15 yards in this game. 2 penalties. The Dallas Cowboys an entire game.
No turnovers. No turnovers.
No turnovers. No miscommunications. Literally the only thing that went wrong was Maher could not make a PAT to save his life. That was the only thing.
He made one that may have quite literally saved his career at the Cowboys. If they rolled him out for that 5th one, and he shanked 5 in one game to surpass the record by 1, cushion, secure his lead for most missed extra points. I think that may have been a step too far. That may have been a bridge the Cowboys could not cross. Right. But he made one. Right, 1 for 5. It's definitely that was a bit crazy, especially considering he missed more in that game than he missed in the entire regular season. He was 50 for 53, I think the number was, in the regular season, and he missed 4 in a row. that I like that's what I was saying. I was torn between take him out, like come on, stop, you're just having him go up here and just kick his confidence away, but then I was also thinking, but at the same time, you're up so much, you gotta try to let him get it out of his system. Like you don't want this to happen next week. You already know you're gonna win, right? There was the game. 8 of those points were on a touchdown 2-point conversion that were like garbage time, like nearly at that point. I think it may have been like 10 minutes left, but at that point it was 31-6, I believe, when they scored that touchdown. The Bucs, like the game was over. Like,
I guess
that's
maybe
something
the
where
defense
get it
is
out of your
slightly
system.
better than I'm giving them credit for, because that was kind of a garbage time.
And I would say some notes I'll say to defense, although part of it is also on Brady, which we'll touch on in a second, but potentially Brady. But I mean, that was Brady's first time getting shut out as a Buccaneer, right? That was his 3rd season as a Buccaneer. He had never been shut out in a half. That's what I meant to say. He had never been shut out in a half as a Buccaneer up until this game. 3 whole seasons, including a Super Bowl playoff appearance last year, and then that was playoff appearance. First time getting shut out in a half. A lot. It was his first time getting shut out in a half since 2002, I believe, or 2001. That's what I mean to say. It was his first red zone interception. That's what it was. It was his first red zone interception since 2019. That's what I meant. It was his first time getting shut out in a half since I think literal decades, I believe. Like more than one. Which is that's a great defensive job. I think part of that might land on Brady though, and it might land on him because he was definitely more shaky in the pocket. One thing that's helped his longevity is that he can be willing to take a sack. But he was looking awfully willing to take a sack, like definitely more cagey under pressure. Which I mean, he's 46, I think 45. Yeah. Like I get it in that sense, but it's also, and I mean, this season was always a bit of a write-off season potentially for Brady. I mean, there was like we run through, he skipped a bunch of trade, like he came back out of retirement late. There was that whole debacle at the beginning of the season where he came out of retirement. Then he missed a bunch of training camp. He went to a wedding the night before a game, I believe, or the day before, like something like that. It was like a Friday. It was like
wedding or something, right?
Yeah, Robert Kraft's wedding. He went to that and like had a game the next day, sort of thing. I forget the precise dates, but still, like he was up wherever Robert Kraft was getting married, owner of the Patriots. For those who don't know, so I'd imagine I wouldn't think it's right in his backyard. I don't know, Brady's backyard. I mean, sorry, mistook myself, but it's like I think that the O-line trouble, miscommunication, like I could see part of this being Brady, like willingly or not, like I think part of the weakness might have been less Dallas' defense, more Brady, or not to discount that, like right, because obviously the amount of pressure they were getting was causing this, right? This is not to say like I'm not in any way insulting the Cowboys defense. It's great, no. However. I think against Patrick Mahomes, frankly, every other quarterback, probably including Brock Purdy, who they'll be playing next week, I think probably would have responded to pressure better than the way Brady was. Brady was missing some wide open throws.
1,000%,
some wide open throws, and that there's still, again, props to the Cowboys defensive line for causing that pressure, but I don't know if you're going to get that as easily against other teams.
Right.
This was probably the weakest team in the playoffs, I would say. The Buccaneers, going into it. Like if we ranked them, this team definitely I would have put last.
They have a losing record, and I think it's an excellent point, Jack. Like the bar has gotten so low for the Cowboys that it is a big win for them to beat a losing team. I mean, really? Come on.
You just want to go back on your hate train. You just want to go back on that hate.
I do want to
too complimentary.
If we zoom out,
you're right.
Like just in the game, it's like as a fan, right? I'm like, I love it, right? It's fantastic, it's great, but that's because I've never seen a road playoff.
But the next day, the hangover, like once it hits you,
right? It's like wow, it's the Buccaneers with a 46-year-old Tom Brady who can't hit open receivers. Like it's like, I don't want to give the flowers completely. I want to say, Dak, great game. If you keep doing this, we're going to have a chance against a lot of teams, not just the Buccaneers. But This is one game. Like and this is what the Cowboys do. They like to front run, get a little bit ahead of themselves, and the next thing you know, you got 5 holding penalties, 2 picks, a pick 6, 3 fumbles, et cetera, et cetera. Trayvon Diggs biting on coverages, but we're going to get more into that. Let's get to
we'll see one of those. We'll see one of those in this divisional weekend.